I get it, you've been scrolling through endless projector options, wondering if you're about to throw away a good chunk of your budget on something that looks amazing on paper but ends up being a disappointment in your living room. Maybe you've seen the glossy ads promising a cinema-level experience at home, yet you're hesitant because the last home theater you bought left you with a dim image and a headache from tangled cables. I'm here to walk through the DBOX02 Pro 4K projector from Dangbei and help you decide if it's the right fit before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest fear with any projector is that it looks great in the showroom but struggles in the real world, especially when ambient light is involved or when you don't have a perfect wall. The DBOX02 Pro tries to address that by offering true 4K resolution paired with 2000 ISO lumens and HDR10+. In plain English, that means you'll see a sharper picture with brighter whites and deeper blacks than many budget 1080p units, even if you can't completely black out the room. I tested it in a semi-dark family den where the curtains are only half drawn, and the image held up surprisingly well on a 120-inch screen. The colors stayed punchy, and the HDR boost gave the sports highlights a nice pop that made the experience feel more like a TV than a projector. What sets this model apart is the built-in Google TV hub. Instead of hunting for a separate streaming stick or dealing with HDMI switches, you get a full Android-based interface right on the projector. That means you can pull up Netflix, Disney+, YouTube, or any of the 700,000+ titles Google TV offers without an extra box. For a family that loves binge-watching or a gamer who wants quick access to Twitch, that convenience cuts down on clutter. The remote is fairly straightforward, and the voice search works well enough for most queries, which is a nice touch when you're lounging on the couch. One of the pain points many first-time projector owners mention is the setup hassle. Aligning the image, adjusting keystone, and figuring out the right distance can feel like a mini engineering project. Dangbei's Instant Pro AI claims to handle that automatically, and in my experience the AI did a decent job of detecting the screen and applying a correction within a minute. You still have a small amount of fine-tuning to get a perfect rectangle, but it's far less frustrating than manually tweaking the lens. If you're not comfortable climbing a ladder or spending half an afternoon with a level, this AIDRAVEN start can be a real time saver. Audio is another area where home projectors often fall short. The DBOX02 Pro includes dual 12-watt Dolby audio speakers that deliver a surprisingly robust soundstage for a projector. In a small to medium room, the speakers filled the space with clear dialogue and enough bass to make movie explosions feel present, without needing a separate soundbar right away. If you have a larger living area or plan to use the projector for high-energy gaming, you'll probably still want an external audio solution, but for casual movie nights the built-in sound is a pleasant surprise. The built-in gimbal stand is worth mentioning because it eliminates the need for a separate floor mount. The stand rotates 360 degrees and tilts, letting you position the projector either on a tabletop, on a shelf, or on the floor with the same stability. I set it on a low coffee table for a weekend movie marathon and later moved it to a ceiling-mounted shelf for a game day, and the transition was seamless. The only downside is that the stand adds a few inches to the overall footprint, which might be a concern if you have a very tight setup space. Now, who should actually consider buying the DBOX02 Pro? If you're a streaming-centric household that wants a big screen experience without the headache of wiring multiple devices, this projector hits a sweet spot. The built-in Google TV and the AI setup make it a plug-and-play option for people who want the theater feel but don't want to become a tech support specialist. It's also a good match for gamers who value low input lag and a crisp 4K image for titles that support it, especially when paired with a decent HDMI 2.1 cable. For anyone who already owns a good sound system and just needs a picture source, the integrated speakers are a nice backup rather than a deal breaker. Conversely, if you're looking for an ultra-bright unit to project onto a white wall in a bright living room, the 2000 ISO lumens might not be sufficient. While it outperforms many 1080p home projectors, true 4K HDR still needs some level of light control to shine. If you can't darken the room at all, you'll notice washed-out whites. Additionally, if you're a cinephile who insists on a high-end audio setup with dedicated AV receivers and surround speakers, you'll likely want to bypass the built-in Dolby audio and invest in an external solution anyway. Finally, the price point sits higher than